Let's go. Megatronus the Fallen was a leader-class figure released during Age of the Primes. He was available during Wave 1 in early 2025. Inspired by probably half a panel from an old Dreamwave comic that's likely older than the person watching this video, Megatronus the Fallen, don't worry, I'll figure out something to call him because I'm not repeating that every time, is back for what is probably the first time that this figure has had a solid debut. I'll get more onto the topic of the Fallen in a moment, but I think the last time we got a tank-based Fallen that was a unique mold, it was this, and it was horrible. Now, being a modern tank in a modern time, there is plenty to consider with this figure. First of all, how it poses. And as you can see, for the most part, there's no real issue with articulation, but it does look a bit goofy. Weapon storage exists, it's wank, and if you want to get spooky, we can always set the tank on fire. But we're getting ahead of ourselves, so let's not talk about all this quite yet. The best praise I can give the Fallen in this alt mode is the color scheme and the detailing and all that sort of shit. He's covered with these yellow furnace lines, which if you have any familiarity with the original design, you'll know very much fits. And if you don't worry, you'll see it in like a minute. The absolute lack of stability in this cannon when I'm just trying to adjust it is really obnoxious. In compliance with standard practice since the 2019 overhaul of Generations, he has functioning tank treads, and I'm chatting absolute shit, he's got plastic wheels on plastic treads. But do not despair because transformation is the cause of this one. But we'll be getting to that in just a moment after some comparisons. Here's Megatronus the Fallen next to my dad. I'll wait a fuck. Here's Megatronus the Fallen next to a figure that I imagine everyone owns at this point. Not specifically this one, I'm just a fucking sucker for the aesthetic, but I think at this point everyone owns a Sideswipe. Here he is next to one of his siblings or potentially his lover, depending what route of the primes you prefer to take more literal. This car mode definitely says keep it in the family, but that's for another video. And here we have a tank mode that I hope that this will be replacing, but if current rumors are to be believed, then I am not to be believed. So let's just soak this in and appreciate it for a moment. At this point, I have a feeling that the real SS86 Megatron is going to be the friends we made along the way, or the funniest fan theory for Reddit to feverishly pump out prior to something's release. Anyway, enough about my hopes and dreams. Let's talk about Megatronus the Fallen. Look, I can't help it. I actually quite enjoy just saying Megatronus the Fallen. Fuck you guys. The transformation is one that's fairly straightforward. I always imagine that there's clearance issues with this figure, but I don't really encounter any when I actually transform him. I always imagine there is, though. When I actually have him in hand, the thing I find is there's a lot tighter tolerances in certain places, primarily when you try to pop out the wrists. I find that's quite irritating to actually try to get my lack of a fingernail in there to pry it open. Beyond that, there's some mild parts forming in the weapon and the accessories that are designed to fill out the figure. If you hate parts forming, you're probably gonna hate it. Fairly straightforward transformation. I like how the front treads fold up and store inside the chest to kind of fill out his chest cavity that a bit extra. The legs are fairly straightforward if the tabs are a little tight. But all in all, it comes together to form the beautifully almighty Megatronus the Fallen. But he can fucking wait a second, because right now we've got a word from our sponsor. Megatronus the Fallen here, I don't know why I keep using his full legal, but here we are, has received much fanfare for being one of the best leaders in recent memory. And to tell you the truth, I don't think that's much of a far stretch from the truth. First, let's get the negatives out the way. As you can see, there's some instances where his joints have got a little bit of give. Not enough to end the fucking world, but enough to end the lineage of primes, I guess. I absolutely despise the fact that the screws and the pins and all that shit are visible on this side. There's absolutely no need for that. And he's got some smudged paint on his eye. Like, normally I don't care about that sort of thing, but I can even see it from where I'm sitting about 1.5 feet away. Fuck, you can probably still see it from here. And I happen to think these other weapon accessories are a bit wank. Not bad, not irredeemable, not the worst thing to ever happen, but definitely a bit wank. So fuck it, just stick it together and forget about it. But that's about it for the complaints, so let's talk about the good shit. This guy is hefty. Now obviously there's no real way to express the density and the weight of this figure through a video. So if you follow the card at the top, I'm going to link you to some advert for some charity. I can't help you physically feel the weight of this in your hands, but I can help you feel the weight of this on your conscience. His articulation, all things considered, is pretty unrivaled, especially with articulated hat. No, wait a minute, that's everywhere now. Alright, in that case then, let's talk about his super extended butterfly joints. I'm not even kidding, I think he pulls over this little fucking move from 1986 a lot better than what Optimus from 1986 does. Since we're already here, let's do some comparisons. Here he is with SS-86 Commander Optimus Prime. Like, honestly, it's hard to pick one that feels heavier. Here he is with some of his other Primes, apart from Prima, because fuck the UK, I guess, for some reason. Like, the age of Primes was over, then it wasn't, but if you live in the UK, it was, then it wasn't, then it was, then it wasn't, then it was. Fucking, where's my Prima? Why is it taking this long? Here he is with some goons of irrelevant origins. Here he is with a character I think he should be retooled into to some dynamic degree, although apparently that is not happening. Which is a shame, because for as fun as the Siege Megatron is, it's also heinously impractical and imperfect compared to this towering hunk of man. I suppose SS-86 will tell its tale in time, but for now, that doesn't actually look terrible, but the connection itself is pretty terrible. And finally, here he is with the figure everyone owns. We're not recreating memes. And here he is with a figure everyone owns. Now, of course, when discussing Megatronus the Fallen, there's one glaring elephant in the room that you always have to mention in regards to him. The multiverse. No, it's his special effect. Thanks to some strategically placed 5mm ports across his body, and a slight expansion on the concept of blast effects that I haven't seen in a long time, you get Megatronus the Blazing in full glory. And how does it fare? It's pretty cool. It's a neat idea. I've seen people attach different ones in different areas of the body to give him more of a thorough effect. I think my only comment would be I'm not going to leave it on him while he's on the shelf. I have a feeling leaving these on him while he's on display permanently is just going to fuse and eventually cause it to break. So I don't think there's any confirmed reports of it yet. I don't advise doing it. But hey, I'm probably wrong. That's usually how these things go. All in all, Megatronus the Fallen is probably one of the best debut figures in the leader class assortment I think I've seen in a little while at this point. Whether you're going in on noteworthy characters, a full collection of the Primes, or just villain-coded characters, I believe that Megatronus the Fallen is a worthy addition to any collection. And I think as far as the review goes, that's about as much praise as I can give him. Not perfect, but very perfectly playing his imperfection to perfection. Bames nond having a stronk. Basically, he's a solid leader class release, and I thoroughly recommend him no matter the circumstances. I believe he's currently available. Full retails $54.99, $55.99. Have a look around. You'll probably find him. He'll probably turn up. He's now available in the UK, which you can take to mean he's available fucking everywhere, because at the minute we've been getting stuff last. And that's about it for this video. I would like to thank everyone who decided for me to cover Megatronus thanks to this vote. Quite a few of you actually picked Megatronus, probably for very good reason. Beyond that, here's a quick update before we continue any further. Shorts is dead. I'm back now. This is what you can expect. Weekly content, covering a figure. And not just that, but each one is going to be randomized thanks to a wheel. As it stands, every release appears on here once. And let's see what next week's is going to be. Alright, very much looking forward to covering that next week. I'll see yous there. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see yous in the next one. Goodbye.